There's so many wonderful verses in the letter of Hebrews, and today we turn to chapter 10, verses 24 and 25. And let us consider how to provoke one another to love and good deeds, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. This is one of the many one another verses that we find in the New Testament. Depending on your translation, you could say there's as many as 50 verses that mention the one another's, how you and I are to treat one another in the church, in the family of God, in our community of faith. And the first one another is provoke one another to love and good deeds. When you hear the word provoke, I think most of us think of provoke in kind of a negative way. Like, he provoked me. He made me do it. She was provoking me. I couldn't help myself. I think we tend to think of it more that way. But in Hebrews, the idea is to provoke, to stir up, as it says in another translation. Stir up one another to love and good deeds. So part of your task, part of my task as a Christian, is to be stirring up, provoking in other people. Hey, remember, we've got to love one another. And love one another is the most repeated one another in the New Testament. Again, in some translations, it happens at least 16 times, 16 different verses. So love one another, and we are to provoke to good deeds, which again, we hear. You hear the repetition of good deeds as we've been going through the New Testament? It's really critical. This is how we show we're saved. It's how we show we're a follower of Christ. So provoke one another to love and good deeds, not neglecting to meet together. And I know there are some of you who watch these videos who aren't able to come to Brewster Baptist Church because you live somewhere else, or you may not be able to attend here or your local church because of health reasons. But it really is critically important as Christians to meet together as much as possible. And again, in the New Testament, most of this meeting together as a church took place in someone's home, just like our small groups do today. But it's important to meet together because that's how we grow. That's how we do all the one another's that we read about in the New Testament. You can't do them if you aren't meeting with people. And the final one another is encouraging one another. We had the Pan Mass Challenge go by our church the other Sunday, on the first Sunday of August, and we hear all the time from bicyclists who go by and other people how much the encouragement of people on the side of the road clapping and cheering and sharing words, you can do it, keep going, you're doing great, how much that encouragement matters. And in life, I've still not met the person who gets too much encouragement in her or his life. When was the last time you gave someone a word of encouragement and they said, please stop, I'm getting too much encouragement these days? Still waiting to hear from the first person who says that. So be an encourager. So consider how to provoke and stir up one another to love and good deeds. Don't neglect to meet together because we need one another. And finally, encourage one another. Be a loving encourager, and God will use you to make a difference.